Did you see the headlines about a Nipah virus outbreak in India and feel that little knot in your stomach? Because when a virus most people have never even heard of suddenly makes the news, the first question is obvious. Is this dangerous, and should there be real concern? Today, this video brings clarity. What the Nipah virus actually is, why health experts monitor it so closely, how it spreads, what symptoms look like in real life, and what the current outbreak in India truly means for people watching from anywhere in the world. And stay until the end, because later it becomes clear why Nipah is taken so seriously, even though it does not spread easily like flu or COVID. Let's start with the basics. What exactly is the Nipah virus? Nipah virus is a zoonotic virus. That means it can spread from animals to humans. It belongs to a family of viruses known to cause severe disease, particularly affecting the brain and, in some cases, the lungs. The virus was first identified in the late 1990s. Since then, outbreaks have occurred occasionally, mainly in parts of South and Southeast Asia. These outbreaks are usually small and localized, but the virus remains under close watch by global health organizations. Why? Because when Nipah causes illness, it can be severe. And because there is currently no approved vaccine and no targeted antiviral treatment. This combination alone explains why the virus appears on global watch lists for emerging infectious diseases. So how does Nipah virus spread? First, animal-to-human transmission. Fruit bats are considered the natural reservoir for Nipah virus. They can carry the virus without appearing sick. Humans may become infected through direct contact with bats or their bodily fluids. Another known route is consuming food contaminated by bats. This can include fruit or raw sap that bats have come into contact with. In some outbreaks, other animals act as intermediate hosts, passing the virus from bats to humans. Most Nipah outbreaks begin with this type of spillover. Now, human-to-human transmission. Yes, Nipah can spread between people, but context matters. Transmission usually requires close, prolonged contact. Documented cases most often involve caregivers or healthcare workers exposed to bodily fluids without adequate protection. This is not a virus that spreads easily through casual contact. It does not spread through brief interactions or passing encounters. That distinction is extremely important. Now that the virus itself is clear, let's talk about what infection actually looks like. What does Nipah virus infection feel like? At the beginning, Nipah does not announce itself in a dramatic way. Early symptoms often resemble a common viral illness. This overlap is one of the reasons early recognition can be difficult. People may start with a fever, a persistent headache, muscle aches that feel similar to the flu, deep fatigue that does not improve with rest. Some people also experience nausea or vomiting. At this stage, nothing about these symptoms is specific enough to immediately point to a rare virus. That is why doctors pay close attention to travel history and possible exposure. As the illness progresses, symptoms can become much more serious. This is where Nipah clearly separates itself from common infections. Some individuals develop confusion. They may seem disoriented or show changes in alertness. Others become unusually drowsy and struggle to stay awake. Seizures can occur, and in some cases, breathing becomes difficult. One of the most dangerous complications associated with Nipah virus is encephalitis. That means inflammation of the brain. When this happens, neurological function can decline rapidly. Speech, movement, awareness, and consciousness can all be affected. It is important to understand this clearly. Not everyone who becomes infected experiences severe disease. Some people develop milder symptoms and recover. Others, unfortunately, become critically ill. Severity appears to depend on individual factors and the circumstances of exposure. Oh, and if you're enjoying this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next health tips. Let's dive back in. Now, let's look at what is actually happening in India. In early 2026, health authorities identified a Nipah virus outbreak in the eastern Indian state of West Bengal. The number of confirmed infections has been limited. However, some cases involved healthcare workers. That detail always triggers rapid investigation. Healthcare settings involve close contact, and close contact is where Nipah transmission can occur. Public health teams responded quickly, Confirmed cases were isolated, close contacts were identified. People who may have been exposed were monitored closely. These are standard and well-established protocols for managing Nipah virus outbreaks. At this stage, active surveillance continues. Health authorities are monitoring carefully for any signs of additional spread. So why does a Nipah outbreak receive so much global attention? There are several reasons. The virus can cause severe neurological and respiratory illness. There is no approved vaccine or specific antiviral treatment. And animal-to-human transmission highlights broader environmental and public health risks. Monitoring does not mean panic. It means preparedness. Now let's talk about practical awareness and prevention. For most people following this story, no changes to daily routines are necessary. There is no need to stockpile supplies, no need to cancel normal activities. Still, basic prevention principles are helpful. In regions where Nipah has circulated, avoiding raw or unprocessed foods is important. Good hand hygiene always helps reduce infection risk. Healthcare settings should strictly follow infection control guidance, and updates should always come from trusted public health organizations. Travelers to affected areas should remain attentive to official guidance and seek medical care if symptoms develop after potential exposure. Quick break, but this is important. Did you know that many Americans have high blood pressure? The best way to control it isn't just medication. Natural approaches can make a huge difference and improve quality of life, even without a diagnosis of hypertension. That's why we created the ebook Hypertension Made Simple. Everything needed to understand and control high blood pressure. Inside, there are insights doctors often do not have time to explain during an office visit. The link to get a copy is in the description below. Now, let's get back to it. When this outbreak is placed in perspective, something important becomes clear. The Nipah virus is rare. Outbreaks are typically small, and they are addressed quickly using established public health protocols. This is not a situation where a virus spreads silently without oversight. Public health systems are designed to detect, isolate, and contain exactly this type of threat. Understanding the virus first, and then recognizing the symptoms, turns alarming headlines into clear, usable information. Knowledge replaces fear, and perspective replaces panic. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss upcoming health videos. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.